G'day, it's Denodon here. Today we are back in Star Citizen, where we are taking a look at the MISC Reliant Kore, which is the latest ship to be added to the game as a hangar-ready vessel. Now, the ship isn't actually in hangar yet, so what I'm doing here is activating it by going to this peg here and selecting the ship. This replaces the website tool that we used to use previously to place our vessels. Very loud noise there, I have no idea what that was, but you'll see the ship was waiting until we got out of the space that was blocking it before we can have a look. So the Reliant is supposed to be a starter ship, or a tier 2 starter ship as they're calling it, which basically just means it's a bit bigger and a bit more expensive than the basic starter ships, the Aurora and the Mustang. The MISC standout here with the Reliant is that it is a two-seater, unlike those, and it has xi'an tech. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're the aliens that made the K2L Scout. And yeah, so that is why it is shaped the way it is. These ports all along the front here, they are how you interact with the ships. They're not specific to the Reliant, but they replace the god-awful holotable by allowing you to swap out parts as you need them, which is a much nicer interface to say the least. So here we are walking around. You can see the width of the ship here. It is quite wide to say the least. It makes it very tall as well, but that is no surprise either. Nice bit of lighting there as it flashes on the hull. So the ship, it has two modes. It has this horizontal mode and a vertical mode, because it is alien, and the aliens, the xi'an, for some reason like vertical. Now, you got some detail there. Basically, the engines and the chairs rotate 90 degrees. I'm doing hand gestures with my hands, even though you can't see them, because I'm an idiot like that. But, yeah. Pardon me. But, yeah, so that is what those work. Got some nice detail on the hull. We'll duck under here. You can have a look when I can get it into position. There we go. You can see some nice sort of undercarriage bay detail and a builder's plate. And no step apparently, even though we're underneath the ship, so you can't physically stand on there right now. We have a sensor bar of some sort, and some nice headlights, which should hopefully be useful. Interesting shaped canopy, because of course it rotates, or the chairs do, so you have to be able to see around. Then you've got these ball things, they're actually turrets. On the cargo ship variant, which this is the Kore, you have just a twin turret on it, and the other has a tractor beam, I believe. Whereas the fighter has, you know, actual guns on either side. I might be wrong. Some nice detail on the back here. Makes it look a lot like a Cobra, in my opinion. Which is not a bad thing, you know, Cobra from Elite Dangerous, rather. And there's the rear shape. Notice the engines, they're great big spheres. There is a massive design flaw with these engines, in my opinion, which, if I can remember the right key to crouch, oh, there we go. Look at that very restricted ground clearance. That is going to be quite dangerous for anyone trying to land this thing, you know, manually, I believe, because the slightest give and you're smashing your engines into the ground. So we open the ramp up like that. It opens up that sort of top flap there to allow access to standard cargo pods, which would go up and sit on these pads on the floor. Now, this bay here in the other variant has different things, but as this is the cargo variant, all you have are these, I think they're electromagnetic plates or something like that. I can't remember what they're calling them. Just some webbing there. In this tunnel here, these access points, this is where I believe your life support and your avionics would be. And here's the cockpit with the nice chair rotating mechanism. But let's get into the seats, shall we? There's the co-pilot seat as well. If I remember it, there we go. Bit of a glitchy animation as he sits on down. And there's our visibility. Very nice. You've actually got those two panels on the side there. They're supposed to fold down, but they're not. Because they're not actually been hooked up to animation yet. Ignore the Z fighting or Z fighting on the textures. That is alpha bugs. But yeah, so you can see here, it's got very nice visibility all the way around. I can't demonstrate the vertical visibility, of course, because we don't actually have that yet. Eventually we will, and that will be nice. You can sort of glitch it out at the moment by putting a grey cat underneath the ship and then spawning it. It will flip it out and show that it does have a vertical flight mode animation at the moment, but you can't actually get in the ship whilst it's doing that. But yeah, anyway, that is the MISC Reliant. It's an interesting ship, to say the least. It will be nice to see it flying. I love this visibility, so I think it will be a ship I fly a lot in the final game. But until then, I'm Denodon. This is Star Citizen. Safe landings.